because you obviously, what's it all about? Let's see it. What's going to happen? So, Andrea. Now, Kate, sorry. It's because your name's in full here, you see, but you prefer to be called Kate. So Kate has presented before, so you're in safe hands. But we don't know what she's going to talk about. This is the exciting part of BettaKultcha. Richard's seen the slides, but he hasn't heard what she's going to say, and we don't know. So there's a trigger warning in this.
I have got a swear word in it.
There's a swear word, so if you don't like a swear word, is it a big swear word? Or?
It's not a C-bomb.
So anyway, let's have a big round of applause for Kate.
I'm ready.
Go.
Okay, so my therapist sent me here tonight because she said it would help me to tell all of you about when I tried to hire a city car for a last-minute appointment with a client. I should tell you that the only city car left in the whole of Huddersfield where I live was a Toyota Prius, which is some evil combination of an electric car and an automatic. I like gas-guzzling manual tanks, and so I had a sense of foreboding as soon as I saw it. Now, for those of you who've been to Huddersfield, you will recognise this very accurate portrayal of the one-way system at the train station. This is the Head of Steam pub. That is the train station and the taxi rank. This is not an upside-down car. It is in fact a Toyota Prius that is parked next to the pub, and that is of course the bus stop. Now, my plan was to get into the Prius and drive 12 miles to my client's office. I'd allowed myself 45 minutes to carry out that plan. I did encounter some difficulties along the way. First of all, I couldn't get into the key fob. I was pressing on it for about 10 minutes in the car, trying to get the key to come out. When the key did come out, I couldn't find the ignition. I had to ring the city car helpline and ask them for help. I was meant to point out that it is lunchtime and there's a crowd of people marauding outside the pub, wondering what the chuff I'm doing sitting in the car not going anywhere. Because why would anyone hire a car and just sit in it for 10 minutes? So then I phoned the city car helpline and I asked them how I meant to turn the car on. I think at that point that both they and I had serious concerns about what would happen if they gave me that information. But they did, and a mere 20 minutes into my 45 minutes, I had the engine running. I was relieved to put pedal to metal and get the hell out of there. Or so I thought. It turns out that you've got to stamp really hard on the accelerator pedal to get any kind of momentum going at all. So I reversed out there like your gran. A quick crunch of gear as I went from reverse to drive, and I was motoring. Over the distance of about 100 yards, I reached the dizzying speeds of 13 miles per hour, and I realised that the reverse warning light was still sounding. I decided I'd better slow down, and did an emergency stop, right next to the bus stop, much to the amusement of all the people standing in the queue waiting for their bus, and the crowd outside the pub, who was still clearly in plain sight. I'd nearly gone through the windscreen, so I was less amused. I phoned the city car helpline again, and I said to them, I think there's a very real danger here that I'm going to really slowly run someone over and then do an emergency stop on top of them. They said I had to put the car back where I found it and they weren't going to come and help me. But I was in a one-way system. I couldn't go backwards, I had to keep going. The boy on the city car helpline said, "Come on Kate, we can do this together," which I thought was a bit over-dramatic. But at an average speed of 13 miles an hour, I simply didn't have enough time to get to my client, so I had to make a new plan. My new plan was to drive around the block, put the car back where I found it, get in a taxi. It's a good plan. So I set off. I was going okay till I got to the first set of traffic lights. Having learned from my last experience, I knew that I needed to allow plenty of time to slow down. And I touched that brake pedal like if there'd been a butterfly having a nap on top of it, I wouldn't have squashed it. I wouldn't even have woken it up. And I did an emergency stop. Luckily, the bus driver behind me was by now getting the hang of my driving, so I didn't get rear-ended, but he did give me the horn. I carried on, and after about 3 sides of my block, I was really getting into it. I felt like I was getting the hang of it. I was pretending I was Keanu Reeves in speed. I could not get my car to go faster than 13 miles an hour, and I daren't let it stop. Luckily, the next set of traffic lights were on green. At least I think they were. Sailed through them anyway. Got back to the pub, crowd of people still outside, because it's only been 35 minutes since I initially got in the car anyway. They're finishing their pints, wondering really what is this girl doing. That was a very short journey. I ignored them, bumped over the curb next to them, and got myself back almost in the space, where I did an emergency stop, about half a metre short of the end of the space. If they couldn't hear me saying bollocks over and over again, and I would doubt that, they'd certainly be able to bit me. But I phoned the city car helpline, and we had a bit of a celebration that I managed to get the car back where I found it. We agreed that it would be best all round if we cancelled my booking, and I never ever be allowed to use that car again. The taxi driver said, "Are you alright, love? Did you enjoy your trip?" He'd seen the whole thing, and I don't think I've done the reputation of women drivers in Huddersfield any favours at all.